Greetings, candidates, and welcome to the Manifested e-learning platform. The subject is Public Sector Governance, Policy and Administration. Today, we continue with the topic on public policy analysis. In our last session, we studied the first subtopic, which is the concept and rationale for public policy analysis. Today, we move to the second subtopic, which is diagnosing and defining the problem. And this diagnosing and defining the problem is the initial stage in the entire policy analysis process. And a clear and accurate understanding of the problem is essential to guide the subsequent steps and ensure that the proposed solutions are relevant and effective. It is the first and the most consequential stage in the policy analysis process, because if you get it wrong, even a technically brilliant solution will not address the problem. It is a very important stage because it shapes everything that follows, which could be, and it involves gathering information, gathering data, analyzing data. It involves identifying who is to be consulted. It also helps in getting the entire information. And as you know, candidates, just like solving any other problem, if you want to get a right solution to a problem, we've always said that you first of all have to define the problem. Because a problem well defined is a problem half solved. So when the government intends to solve a problem in the society, it has to begin with diagnosing the problem and defining the problem. So the question is, what is diagnosing the problem? What does that mean? Diagnosing the problem is the investigative phase of policy analysis. And it functions much like a medical diagnosis, which involves gathering evidence, tracing visible symptoms to their root causes, and then also examining the systemic and economic and social factors that drive a condition. That's the meaning of diagnosing the problem. Then there is definition, problem definition. Now, problem definition, on the other hand, is the conceptual and boundary setting phase. When you define something, you set a boundary. You outline the boundary. You give the scope. That's the meaning of defining the problem. It involves framing the diagnosed issue into a precise statement that articulates the core public deficit, that specifies who is affected by the problem. Definition also identifies the geographical and the institutional scope. It may also ensure the problem is separated from proposed solutions. That's the meaning of defining the problem. You understand? Now, we've seen for you to define the problem, you first do a diagnosis. Then at the end of these two, there is what is expected, what we are calling the output. What is the end result of diagnosing and defining the problem? Now, at the end of diagnosis and definition of the problem, the policy makers have to develop what we call a problem statement. Problem statement. And this problem statement has to be or it has to be accurately stated. This problem statement has to include certain things. Within this statement, if you are to read a public policy problem statement, then you will definitely, obviously, understand what the problem is. So a problem statement answers the question, what is the problem? What is the problem? Is it youth employment? Is it a housing problem? What kind of problem is it? It has to be defined. That's the first thing that a problem statement will outline. Then there is a second question, which is who is affected. If you have a problem, then this problem definitely has to affect someone. Is it the entire community? Is it the entire country? Is it a segment? Is it does the problem affect university students? And if they are university students, are they in the rural areas or the ones who are we see here in town? So what problem or who is affected by the problem? So a problem statement will identify the individuals or the societies that are affected by the problem. Then another question is, why is the problem occurring? Why is it occurring? Because remember, when carrying out a diagnosis, you look at the symptoms, then you get into the root causes of the problem. So the problem statement will also give reasons why the problem is occurring. Then number 4 is the scale or the trend. What is the magnitude? What is the scale? Is it a problem that is worsening, or what is the trend? You can also find that in a problem statement, the scale. Then lastly, there has to be reasons why the problem is to be addressed, why it warrants public action, why the problem warrants public action. Why should the government put in place measures to address this problem? That is also part of what you will find in a problem statement. So that is all candidates for today's lesson on diagnosing and defining the problem. Diagnosing and defining the problem, which you have said is it is in fact the most critical stage in the entire policy analysis process, because whatever happens later on depends on the diagnosing and defining the problem stage. And by rigorously diagnosing and defining the problem through data and through data collection and analysis, policymakers can develop evidence-based solutions that are more likely to be effective and sustainable. So that is the end of the lesson. In our next session, we'll continue to share knowledge in public sector governance, policy, and administration. Thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye.